Alright, what's up everybody? Back again. This is just a temporary setup. As always, I don't have everything with me. So, we're going to try this for a minute and then I'm going to probably have to grab a few other mounts. I think that's going to shake too much. But we'll see. Do a quick run tour of the room and we'll see how it goes. Naturally, I got the GoPro like pipe clamp, and I got the 1.5 to 2.5. Because a lot of the bars on the equipment is pretty big, you know. Well, I probably should have got the 1/2 inch to 1.5 inch, because needless to say, I just can't get that tight enough where it is. And I really don't want to mount it outside right now, anyway, while it's snowing, because I'm just going to be constantly trying to clean the lens off. But then again, you're probably looking through snow on the windshield anyway, so we'll figure it out. I guess we'll figure it out. Hopefully pretty soon I'm going to have to pick up a mic. So when I do the time-lapse stuff, I can at least do some commentary over it, try to explain what's going on, what we're seeing, maybe. We'll see. I mean, not too many. We're still brand new, let's put it that way. I don't get any comments or anything, so I don't really know what people like, what people don't like. Figuring it out. Anything else, we'll wing it. I just wanted to try and get used to setting everything up as quick as possible. Naturally, it's, you know, January and February, so we're not super busy. But once springtime hits and we get back to it, you'll start to see a lot more of a variety in what I do and what we do than just this. Salting and plowing. Salting and plowing. Needless to say, I gotta get used to having a camera running. So I remember to actually say something. Oh, this road's so bad. And not have, Jesus, any music running. I don't want to be getting in trouble for copyright infringement. This is my plow route. When I'm salting, I do this and a lot more, but once we quote unquote switch over to plowing, I jump back onto just this route. Sometimes I'll be the loader, operator, obviously that's what I typically do, but again, once we switch over to plowing, I'm, you know, a little more useful out here than back there, I think. There recently was quite a bit of, I believe it was waterline work on this street. And so it's got a lot of trenches and patches and stuff. And I don't think they want to send anybody too new down here. Break something, you know. anybody could break anything. I'm not saying I'm special, but at least this truck can handle it a lot better than a pickup, you know? I think a lot of the other guys would not be happy with it. So it's pretty rough. But we'll do our rounds, make a few loops, at least open it up, and then we'll get being fancy after. Come out of that street on the left, I will crush that rail every time. Pushing it back to the edge. This is important to the end. Plenty of time for that. Try to make the first run through of being efficient. Quick pass through. Make sure everything's open. And then worry about being fancy.
Should have spoken with you. I was thinking about it.
Yeah, people getting right in the way, I'm sure. Starting to get a little bit of an exhaust leak. Occasionally it's getting a little loud. Might be the flex pipe. I wish you could see this setup. The clamp is attached to the bar you would grab to climb into the drop. Like I said, just doesn't get really tight. So then I got another clamp underneath it, just trying to hold it from falling down. That clamp works pretty good. I just can't rotate it correctly to be looking the way it is without adding on. It's like a 6-inch piece that comes way out, and then that ends up being too long, so it ends up shaking more. Trying to get the mount as short as possible so there's less able to vibrate, you know what I mean? If you're sorry, you know what I'm talking needless to say, I've also started uploading videos directly from my computer, which seems to make them make it a lot easier. I gotta go easy for you. And so now, thankfully, they're uploading in standard def, high def, and 4K. Hopefully. I also think I figured out how to have it, if you do watch all the way to the end, it should suggest you a video at the end, which is kind of cool. Also, if I know what I'm doing, which I don't, I should be able to put a link, you know, about 10-15 seconds into the video that will pop up, and that will link either the short version of this to this, or the long version of this to the short, whatever. I do try to post the short ones first, so at least they're up, and then it gives me time to go through everything else and get it ready. But this way, I should have them linked to one another. Needless to say, it'll make it easier for you guys to find, and then I'm going to try and turn them into playlists. So, you know, like plowing playlists, or, you know, beach cleanup, that kind of stuff. I think that might make it easier to find. But it's all in due time. And needless to say, what I do here is, you know, my main priority. The filming is just something that I enjoy, and you know, like my dad is retiring someday, God only knows when, and he likes to check some of this stuff out, see what I'm doing. So I figure somebody will watch it at the very least, but again, trying to make it so it is not affecting me in any way. That's why I would have done this years ago, but I didn't realize, or at least I understood back then, that it wasn't as simple of a setup as it is now. Especially with this GoPro, this thing's awesome. I can just hit one button and go along with my day. So I'm not, again, I don't have time to be like, oh, let's set the camera up for a perfect shot. You know what I mean? It can't be affecting what I'm doing. That's why I always never did it. I always figured I would need, you know, 30 minutes to set up a shot. I can't be doing that. I can't take an hour to set the tripod up and get a perfect angle. Oh, let's redo it because the tape wasn't right, or I said something wrong. No, this is going to be raw, just the way it is. You're going to catch me messing words up all the time, I'm sure, or just not talking at all. Like I said, I still have to get used to being on camera. I'd call myself an introvert. I don't do well with crowds, so if you know me, I don't shut up. But if you don't know me, I'm kind of quiet. Just the way I am. I'd rather you think I'm stupid than have me open my mouth and prove I'm stupid. If that makes sense. Maybe somebody can relate. over the past weekend, like the February the 1st and the 2nd, somebody hit a mailbox on my route. And of course, the person assumes that it had to have been me, even though, you know, plenty of other plows out. And, guess what? I'm on camera the entire time, and I didn't hit your mailbox. So, I don't know who did. I thought it was funny the way he worded it was, oh, and nobody had plowed my driveway or my neighbor's yet. And then I also saw the town truck go by, you know. So that just automatically means it's me because nobody plowed your driveway. Huh? Plenty of other plows driving down that street to do other driveways could have done it. Trying to say it looked like they pulled off of the road towards my neighbor's yard, and then they must have backed up and hit it. Well, I don't pull over for most cars, and if I do, I'm going to be backing straight out. I'm not going to back out into a 90-degree to hit somebody's mailbox on the opposite side of the road. It just doesn't make any sense. And then it also appeared from the picture he sent in that the mailbox was laying on the right side of the wooden post. And he's also on the right side of the street. So you wouldn't hit it that way. I'd hit it, you know, going down the street, not coming up the street on the wrong side of the road. So again, nothing of it makes any sense. And I haven't figured out who yet. The person that he was claiming pulled into his neighbor's yard and hit it was using a V-plow. And none of our guys on that route use a V-plow. So it wasn't a contractor that I'm aware of. And I said it wasn't me. So I just find it funny that within the first 2 weeks of recording, I'm glad I did, because not that it would matter, you know, you can hit things, it happens, you know, but I don't care if I hit something, I'm going to admit it, what do I care, you know, it's not going to affect me. I'm not the type of person that feels like they need to hide that, you know, I mean, why would you, so, it's just, I don't like being accused of it, that's just freaked out. I'm sure you'll notice if you watch enough, if I see somebody, you know, shoveling out their driveway, I'll try not to push a big mound right back in. I try to go out of my way to help anybody I can. That's why I always find it funny, like, really, you're gonna think I'm gonna knock your mailbox off and just pretend it didn't happen? Come on. It's kind of stupid. I'm not gonna risk losing my job lying about a friggin' $50 mailbox. But again, it is what it is. I just find it funny. It's like having a dash cam in your car. God, I wish I had one. Probably the next thing I want to get. We've had plenty of people cause an accident and then try and put it on me, you know. I dealt with a lot when I was younger. Anytime you drive an old, you know, V8 muscle car, let's call it, all anybody has to do is say, oh, they were speeding. And when you look young, that's all it takes. Pretty sad, but that is the honest truth. Now, I've gotten a little smarter when I'm hitting the dash cam. Like I got a 1995 F350 one-ton dually, and it's a long story short, but I had a lady I was trying to leave the parking lot, and you can't see up the street or down the street very well. So, within the last few years, let's say last 5 years, the city has painted, you have a white line along the edge of the road to designate whether there is a parking area or not. Well, they pushed it out enough because you can park in front of the store. Well, when people come down the corner, they go a little too fast and they like to cut down in low. So I'm waiting to come out, completely stopped, behind that white line. And a car coming from the right was at a complete stop to pull into the parking lot. And I'm trying to take a left, still waiting. Car coming from my left must have seen the car stop to pull into the store, so they cut it down in a little too sharp and basically went across the front of my truck like a guardrail in a Toyota Corolla. Okay? Absolutely annihilated the entire right side of this car. And so she immediately sent a picture to my insurance company, cropped up, only showing the passenger door and the front door passenger side and the rear door passenger side. Didn't show front fender or the rear fender. And claimed that I drove into the side of her car, T-boned her car. Okay? Again, 8,000-pound F-350, 2,500-pound Toyota Corolla. If I was driving out of that lot and T-boned this lady's car, I would have pushed her across the fucking street. She wouldn't have been able to pull over immediately and stop, to put it that way. And when you look at the front of my truck, I got a plastic grill. And obviously the front license plate is still there. How would I stuff her doors in and not break the grill on my truck? All I have is a slight blue mark on the corner of my bumper that she initially hit, and my plow frame on the left side got bent at a 45-degree angle. What does that tell you? She drove down the front of my truck. I wasn't moving, or it wouldn't have bent at that angle. And again, I would have drove that lady right across the street. Needless to say, my insurance company is sending me the pictures from her telling me that I lost this case. It's like, how are you defending me? Why are you taking her word and her pictures for it? Oh my God, any moron could tell that the picture was cropped to show exactly what she wanted to. The door's broke. The whole thing was on camera. And needless to say, Geico insurance sucks. So in the dash cam would have saved me a lot of time and headache. So if you're young or you have kids that are about to start driving, I highly recommend getting a front-facing and rear-facing dash cam. I'm not here to sell you one. I don't even have one. This is not a sponsorship. I would just highly recommend, if you have younger drivers, to get one. Because it ends up being her word against your word. And even if the cops show up, like they tell you need to do, they won't do a damn thing. They're not going to say who they think it is. They're not going to do any investigation. They're just going to...
I will have lunch in the garage for everyone.
They're just going to tell you, oh, he said it was her, she said it was him. Why? Yeah. Waste of time. The only thing that you're going to have to help prove you are right is going to be a dash cam. Today I'm going to try and just film at normal speed again, so you get to volume, you get to hear what's going on, you get to hear my obnoxious accent. But what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to try and stop and start again every like 15-20 minutes. I'll make a couple of different parts just shows again that not such a killer to upload. But let me see what we're at the time now. 26 minutes. Alright guys, this is going to be the end of part 1. We'll start part 2.